Welcome, everybody. We're in October. We made it through. September was a good month, and I can tell by all the smiles on your face that it was good for you guys too. So, I thought we basically, there's a lot of skill sets that we've learned from boot camp. There's a lot of skill sets that we've already learned from this group and that we're learning from each other. A lot of good victories last month. I bragged on a few people that I can see their back offices of and just seeing their victories. But I thought we'd start off this month by just saying what went really well for us last month between boot camp, between what we've learned here, between what we've done partnering with people. Let's just share some stuff that worked really well this month as we kind of get this month set up underway. Who wants to go first? And actually, for those that are joining, and I'll recap this, Terry is at a funeral today, so I apologize for the miscommunication between the awesome end of the month and that. She's actually at the funeral right now. So I'm going to be hosting the call today. We're already recording. So we're going to keep it nice and short because we got a lot of, I know you guys have been getting in good action from this call. So we'll keep it kind of short today, maybe give some nuggets from our awesome leaders that we have here, like Alex. And let's see here. Let's see who else is on there. Preston Boxer on there. And so, but I thought we'd start off this call as people are still logging in here. What went really well with it? What were some of the victories? And this is probably one of the best skill sets you can learn as you're coaching is to always focus on what went well. We were working with people, so it's not always going to work perfect. And we always don't know when you're planting seeds. Sometimes they harvest and sometimes they're still about ready to pop. So, it's really in counting the victories and looking at the potentials because your back office isn't always going to tell you what is brewing and what impact you're making in people's lives. So just going over some things that we learned between boot camp and the call last month that we all learned from each other. What are some things that went really well for you guys? Who wants to share first?
I'll share, Brad.
Go for it.
Yeah, so the biggest thing for me was just staying consistent, touching my business every day, not leave anything to chance, but really just continue to stay close to my team and staying plugged into my health coach, and knowing what's the next step? What are the things that I need to do to continue to grow and continue to help more people.
Awesome. Any solid victories from last month that showed up in the back office besides those victories that were happening with the people you were working with?
Yeah, last month was my best month ever. So,
yeah,
so really good.
I love it. And you can tell that it's not, and this is what another cool thing we're learning here as we work with more people, is yes, our business goes well, but it's not business talk. It's just helping people. And when we help people, when we're on mission, that's what happens. And you can tell when someone's like that. So great job. I think Bobby, I think she disappeared off the screen. She was wanting to talk.
Here.
Are you there? You're next.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yes. Thank you so much. I think for us this month, well, first of all, we had the best month ever, Mike and I. He just joined me as a health coach, and we truly are better together. I know that sounds so cliche, but it's so true. And I find that also too in these groups that we're involved in, the fall into FIBC just really helps us feel that sense of community and running by each other new ideas. And I get great inspiration from all of you. As far as victories are concerned, I had a lot of people kind of more than usual, people that restarted because we were in touch with them all along and just kind of loved on everybody, not just, looking for new people who needed our help, but just kind of retouching base and putting ourselves out there in reaching out to others who may just need a little touch up before the holidays. And what's so great about it is they know it works and they come back to it. They're not going to other places to get themselves healthy. They know the program works. And also too, along the way, it replants seeds for coaching and for referrals.
Oh, I love it. So best month, better together, and just staying connected with people. I love it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Congrats, Bobby. Who else wants to share? What was a good thing from last month that went really well for you guys that you want to share? Alex?
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback on what everyone was saying there. Best month ever, which was phenomenal. However, interestingly enough, it was the simplest month for me working I've ever had. So best month ever, least amount of, and I'm not saying this is a thing I encourage, but I put the least amount of hours in, but it was high leverage activities. And the key that I wanted to go back to when we shared this on another boot camp. I can't remember. We have so many boot camps going on right now, right? Is that transferring the skills. That's why it was the simplest month, is because I've got some amazing teammates. I've got some amazing people right now that are taking action because they want to take action. And it's wonderful to see so many of them on this FIBC and to see so many of them on the ED boot camp. Leveraging these boot camps has been phenomenal. So we have we have new ED, lots of new senior coaches. I won't even begin to speak for the Preston Box line of business. That's been crazy. They've had some amazing growth. Again, that's one of the lines that I work with, but they've been working plugged in. So I just want to say it's been a great month, leveraging leadership, leveraging these resources. People are doing it because they want to do it. And I'm speechless.
I love it. And working simpler, because I think that's what we're all seeing. And, when we've been talking a little bit about, it seems like, the new system, and what is not a new system, it's just the simplified system. We've pulled out everything that's been working in the past and made it so streamlined. And I think we've kind of all seen that it's working when we plug in and do it. It helps us stay on mission. It gets us working with people faster, and gets Alex more time with his kids, which is a great thing. And did you guys see, did it put a smile on your face how many EDs popped in that FIBC group last month? That was so cool. And then I'm sure you guys are probably seeing this too, or maybe some of your team, they're like, wow, and maybe even ones that could have done it if they believed in themselves, but they were thinking that it wasn't going to happen. And then they're like, wow, I even had someone that could have done it, but they were traveling, visiting family and all this stuff, and they moved. And then they were like, no, I don't think I can do it this month. And so we just loved them where they were at. And then on the last day of the month, they see all these EDs popping on the very beginning. They're like, I think I can do it. And it's just people believing that it's possible. And that's the biggest thing in our simple systems and knowing how it's working. So that's why I'm excited to jump with this group, because this is the next level of that skill set moving forward. So who else had a really good month and what was working for them, or something they were really excited about? I know you guys have good stuff going on here. I'm calling somebody. Jeff seems like he's no, go for it.
Here, I'll share. Hi, This is Karen. I think the best thing that happened with me was, it's personal growth. I mean, I'm just blown away by how much I've learned about myself. Not that I liked it all the time, but didn't like what I was learning all the time. But just, pushing myself and just getting out there. And I just love the relationships that have sprouted from old friends and family members. And I don't know, it's hard to put into words, but it's just really, everything that is, I think it was Colleen said. I don't remember the blonde-haired lady's name, but I identified with a lot of things that she said. But just the personal growth and, just learning how to love people for where they are and managing the disappointments. So I have to say, all those end of the month things, I was like, I was just bursting inside, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, so it's very, very motivating to see everybody else's success.
Yeah, I love it, because here's another thing that we learn along the way is we spend so much time thinking, and if we spent less time thinking and more time in action, we would be doing it. But sometimes we're looking around thinking, oh, what's really happening? What's really happening there? And if we were just taking action, then everyone's succeeding. So, and when we all succeed more together. So I love that. And I love the personal growth. There's always an infinite personal growth. So I think Jared Smith said it at a convention the year before. I like to be taught, or I like to learn, but I don't always like to be taught. So I really respect the personal growth aspect. That's a really great victory from last month. So let's do one or two more, and we'll just kind of jump into some really cool things that we can, look at as we start this month. Who wants to go next? Go for it.
I'll say something.
Daniela has to mute her hand. But go ahead, Jeff.
Just real quick, my big thing is just listening and just being consistent every day, and just learning to sit back and listen to everybody that needs something, whether it's a client or a pre-client call or whatever it is. It's just to slow down and listen and help them with what they need help with. And for me, that was big, because my frontline volume was the biggest it's ever been. And that's something that I like to do. So it's just learning how to help. And for me, it was learning to listen first. So.
I love it. Learning to listen, because it's there when you listen to people, and then it's all about serving them. It just becomes easy and fun. It's a great takeaway. And then Danielle, I think you were going to do the next one. We'll cap it off. We'll cap it off with you.
Okay, great. So for me, it was like Karen said, a lot of personal growth. And I think what I discovered was, while I love people with a great passion and I want to reach out, the introvert part of me gets exhausted by some of that. And I was putting a lot of energy into doing that in actions, yes, but I got a lot of specific actions from Doug that were really high leverage that allowed me to utilize that energy it takes for me to be more extroverted and have it be truly functional actions without exhausting myself. So for me, that was huge.
And we'll probably, I think Terry's pretty much due for a behavioral style piece. And for those that don't know, there are all different kinds of people are helping people and take shape for life. Introverts, extroverts, it doesn't matter. I can go off all the differences. But basically, for those that don't know, does everyone here know behavioral styles, or at least some kind of behavioral style test? Have you guys done that? Raise your hand if you've done them before. At least I know you're like an expert in this. Okay. So Daniela is an introvert, which you're probably what? Are you a CD or a DC? You're muted.
There we go. I don't remember what those letters mean. So
Are you a driver analytical?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. See, what that means is great. We all have strengths. Every strength, every attribute comes with a strength, and also comes with the other side of the coin. But what it's saying here is basically anyone can do this. And basically what she's saying is she's enjoying the simple process because she wants to love on people, but it's extra exhausting, where Alex probably just goes out of the house every single day and just is like, hey, how's it going? How's it going? It's easy for him. It takes more work, even though she wants to do it. So it's managing our effort to give us the highest leverage, helping the people around us. So that's a really good takeaway. So as we start off this month, I just want to say congratulations. I know everyone's sitting pretty here. It sounds like everyone had one of their highest months ever. And even outside of numbers, I know a lot of you guys got stronger connected with your team and are working with them more succinctly than you probably ever were before, maybe feeling better about your systems. And also this right now, partnering with people, connecting with them, the relationship. Business numbers come and go, but relationships will last forever. I think Simon Sinek said that if you hire someone to work for money, they'll work for you for the paycheck. But if you hire someone that believes in what you believe, they'll work with you with their blood, sweat, and tears, and they'll never leave your side. So that's probably one of the number one things, because we're working on moving FIBCs here. That's what we're really doing. We're raising up leaders and passing up skill sets. So I think the one thing, as we start off this month, probably the number one thing I would encourage you guys to do if you guys haven't got the skill set down. I know many of you guys are, residents. You guys have been doing this for a while. Some of you guys are just in this group brand new. I know some of you guys on this call, almost, were FIBC for the first time by the skin of their teeth last month, and you're going to blow it out of the water this month. We had a lot of new senior coaches. We had a lot of new people gain competencies last month, and that's the victory of consistency. So when we jump in this month, the most important thing you want to be doing as someone that's thinking like this is, everyone here, do you guys have your success tracker yet? Are you guys all set up with that? Let's see here. See it? I love it. All right, who's got it? Bill's frozen. Who's got their success tracker? It's okay. It's early in the morning on the first day. So you guys are already set up. This is perfect. This is what the most probably important thing to do is look at last month and now get on board on what we're doing this month. And, Terry kind of really laid it out brilliant for us last month. And we asked, who is it that we're working with, and what are their goals, and how are we getting connected with them to move it forward? And what are our goals, and where do we want to be by the end of the month? Harold, you had a great example on the Facebook page of where you laid out, this is where our goals are, this is where our current reality is, these are the action steps that we want to accomplish our goals. So right now, success tracker, number one. And probably a lot of you guys, since you guys have brought on a lot of coaches, are bringing on a lot of coaches, or maybe had people hit senior coach for the first time. The goal this month right now is what we want to do is we want to connect with these people and help them with the next step of our process. It's easy. We're just always doing 5-in-1 with them. So we help people go senior coach. We help them get their first 5 clients. There's probably a coach in there and we probably know that because we've been doing a lot of these 3-way phone calls. So how are we helping them with their next 5? What are we celebrating with them, and what skill set are we passing on? Who are we, for those that maybe only have about 3 right now, maybe our main energy is going to go towards who are our top clients and who are the three-way phone calls that we're going to be setting up with our mentor. Because if we have people that we want to be bringing on, if we're not yet working with the partners we want to be working with, your number one action step is three-way phone calls with celebrate our client story calls, or if they're just ready to become coaches, exploring coaching calls. So I think the biggest thing to do here at this time, this is what I do every single month. I say, this is where I was last month, and this is great. These are the victories. These are the victories in our business. These are the victories that I had with people in general, just like, we were talking here, personal growth, learning from people, transferring skills. What is this month? What do I want to accomplish? Where am I going to be at? And who am I working with? And it's the first few days of the month. It's not normal for people to just jump in and do what we're doing. So if you have new coaches, you want to grab them up and make sure that they're clear on their next few steps. Maybe connect with your support team and help them lay out their next steps as they're moving along. If you have someone that's maybe on client number 3 of their way to senior coach, we want to connect with them and get that set up this month. Maybe even they still need to earn their cap. If they've already got senior coach, we're going to grab them and we're going to help them take their next few steps in their business. And if we don't have those people in there yet that we want to fill those spots, then our main action is going to be setting up, three-way calls. So I'm actually going to write this out real quick. And you have to bear with me real quick. I wasn't planning on doing this call by myself today, so hopefully this is all good. But it's just going to come down to preparedness. We always want to look at ourselves first. What's our frontline volume going to look like? Where do we want to be by the end of the month? How many clients do we want to start? Just like it says in the success tracker up in the top left-hand corner. So what rank do I want to achieve? What's my frontline volume goal? Who are the clients that I want to be helping this month? How many do I want to help? How many new health coaches? And kind of planning that out and where you're going to be doing that. That'll set your course for your action. And then looking at your team right now. Aim and stay. Who is it that I have on my team that I'm working with right now? So ideally, we're going to be working with 5 to 6 legs. That's the goal by the end of this by the time we're done with this entire camp and this group and what we're setting up for the new year. So right now, we have about, if you made a dash of legs like this, I'll just draw it real quick. Who here are in these legs? So you got leg 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's nothing special. I'm just drawing on a piece of paper so you can visually. I'm a visual learner. So, you may have someone right here and they may be already an ED. So great. We're connecting with them. Do they have the skill sets? What do they need next in their business? Should I connect with my support team to lay out their next steps? That's good and that's exciting. All right. Who's my next leg? Well, it's someone who just hit senior coach for the first time. So they have 6 clients. So let's jump in with them and make sure, celebrate them. And let's help them move forward on their next steps. Let's say your next person is a senior coach as well. And let's just say for practice purposes, this is someone who is not plugged in at all. They're not doing it. They made it very apparent that they don't want to be plugging in. The only thing you can do in this scenario is aim with them. And by aim is, autonomy, support, try to awaken their intrinsic motivation. But you can't work with someone that's not wanting to do it. The goal is to always be working with someone on the succinct steps. So with that case, and just for practical purposes, because I'm sure a few of you guys have people that are in your business or senior coach legs that you're like, I don't know what they want. They're not doing anything. They're not plugging in. Well, that's not someone you're going to be working with because they don't want to be working right now. Unless usually people not working basically means they don't understand what's going on or what they're missing, or they're just needing someone to partner with them. So we either need to find out what we need to do to help them or realize that that's someone that we need to go fill in a spot because they're not the partner we're looking for. They're not integrated and they may not be around unless they want to plug in. So that's just an example because I'm sure a few of you might have some people like that in your business. Let's say your next leg is your 4th leg. Let's say you have a senior coach there. And so then you are working with them, same thing, their next few steps. Let's say for a few on these people, maybe you have someone that's a new coach for your 5th leg. Well, we're going to continue working with them to senior coach. That's the main goal right there. But let's say for another example that we don't have someone, that our main goal is going to be working on creating coaches and helping them first people pay it forward so we can do that this month. So we're on our 2nd month of working towards FIBC, and I can tell you it's so doable. I can see how close so many of you are. That's really going to be the high leverage action steps right now, is basically setting up your month and figuring out where can I dive in and help people take their next few steps. And really the thing I ask myself when I look at this, and it's what makes it really easy as we start our month, is 2 things. Am I clear on what it is what I want for my business, knowing that I'm 100% in mission? And does everyone else on my team know what their next steps are? And are they in mission? and that'll help you know where to dive in so that we're working with them. Some of them, like, just I'm going to all the different scenarios. So hopefully this is all right and I'm not shotgunning to affect you guys this morning. Some of you guys, you have a new coach that probably came on a couple weeks ago and they're working towards their 5th client. No need to recircle up with them. Just keep going till their 5th client. Like you're just working with them to senior coach. That's the first goal. But if you have people that have already hit their goals or they're starting a new month, we want to connect with them and make sure they're clear on their next steps. So that's pretty much the highest leverage activity I can really give you. We've gone over a lot of stuff in boot camp. We've gone over a lot of stuff in this call. Personal growth, really just being there for people. And I have to say probably the biggest thing is empathy. Because right now, you guys, we're at the end of a month. You probably had some people that excelled and you're super excited for them and you're just like, wow, I can't believe they went further than that. And you probably have some people that listen to their own noise in the back of their head and you're like, they said they wanted to do it. They said they wanted to, but they're not starting clients. They're not doing it. The best advice I can give you with this right here is to be in mission. This is where Dave Blanchard has been a huge benefit to us. If people aren't moving forward, and this just goes back to Dr. A's aim and stay. And I want to make sure I'm not losing everyone as I'm going over a bunch of things. You guys all know what aim and stay is on this call, right? It means that they know exactly, they have aim, they have awakened their intrinsic motivation, they know what their goals is. We're supporting with autonomy. And my little caveat, an extra piece on that is, why do I matter to them and why will they take my phone call if I call them, and what is it that they're excited about? So if someone's not moving forward and, if you have someone in that state, it's because they either don't know, they're scared, maybe they have something going on in their home, you never know. So reach out to them and find out how you can assist them to move forward. So that's just my generic thing right now. Our big goal right now is to help 5 legs be moving forward to senior coach and beyond. So the big goal I would encourage you guys this month is stay in mission, figure out what it's going to look like at the end of this month for you, and then let's dive in. The first few days of the month is to help people take their next few steps, and then are they clear on those steps? So that's pretty much the number one thing anyone can be doing at the start of a month when you guys have massively had some great improvements in your business, passing on skill sets, competencies. It's the number one thing you can do. Grab your support team and say, this is what I see. What do you see for this? Is this my most high leverage action? And who should we talk to next in that, whether it's potential coaches, celebration calls, or coaches that are moving to their next level? So with that being said, that's pretty much the number one thing I can share with you guys this month. We had a lot of great takeaways. I basically want to see if I can open it up to Harold or Craig or Alex to give some any insight on this too, because you guys have people on here you've been working with and might know some needs or some wisdom you want to share that's helped you when you were growing your team at the beginning of the month. What helped you kind of get your month aligned and helped you help more people? Go ahead.
I'll go. Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, I think. Thank you for that, Brad. And I think all of us on this line, we're kind of in that point in our business to where if we kind of realize that we're and find a rhythm, that it's really just rinse and repeat. And once we find that rhythm, it really just becomes habitual in our everyday lives. But there's one thing that if I could add to what Brad was saying, and it's something that I had to learn that I made a mistake in, is when you do find someone. So those of you who do have, say, a senior coach or 2 senior coaches, and you're still looking to find those other ones, just because those 1 or 2 became senior coach and they're still waving their hands and that fire still blazing, my philosophy is pour gasoline on the fire. If they're still squeaking and they're still going, don't push them out the nest. Keep pouring gasoline on that fire while you're still looking to bring up new people. That could be that's my biggest nugget for the day.
I love that. And that's, I don't know if you guys saw the post that I put in the FIBC page. I got a really good piece of advice from one of my old bosses, and it was, we were just hit some goals, and no one really expected us to do this. It was a new company. And I was like, great, let's go golfing. We did this, let's take off Friday and go golfing. And he's like, no, Brad, when things are going good, that's when average people slow down. That's when they start to read their own press. The best of the best, the people that help the most people, the people that do it better than most people, that's when they kick it up a notch, because that's when everyone else is slowing down. So you ride that momentum. I like that. Pour the gasoline on it. I like that. I'm gonna change my my story. I'm just gonna say pour gasoline on it. So that's really good advice. Craig, any other nuggets you want to add in here? We're on the second month of FIBC Group. We've passed on a lot of skill sets, and we've had a lot of victories this last month. So as we start this month, go into October, what would your pieces of nuggets be to this group here?
Sure. What I find is that people that make a big push toward the end of the month, it's like they have the gas on and they think the end of the month is like some kind of weird finish line. And so they pull their foot off the gas and they pull into the pit stop, right? And get new tires on and everything. And I loved what Harold said is build a rhythm that doesn't like sprint at the end and then coast for the next few weeks. Build a rhythm where it's just what you do. It's just the thing you do, and it doesn't. You don't really do much different at the end of the month as you do at the middle of the month, at the beginning of the month. And so the things that were working that you've been planting seeds all along, if you planted a ton of seeds last month, well, plant some more, but make sure you take out the watering can and make sure you're watering those seeds and make sure you're weeding, because those weeds will sprout up. So you got to water and weed, plant, water and weed, plant, water and weed. And you just keep going through it and you build this rhythm of, I was thinking to myself this morning when I got up, I'm thinking, man, who do I need to talk to? And I start kind of like getting really tunnel vision. And what I realize is that I don't have to worry about that. It's in me to just follow up. It's just part of what you do. And it's a rhythm. So I love that. So that's my thing, is just, you won't stop connecting. People's lives are at stake. People's lives are counting on you continuing to be a professional at what you do.
I like that. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things we can talk on, is because we're all operating a different business than we had a few months ago, learning our rhythm and our cadence. I mean, we've got the system down. It's 5 candidates into our health coaching every single month, helping them move forward, 3-way phone calls with them and helping them get it. The goal is always, Alex, your main tip this start was passing on competencies. It allows you to spend more time with the little one who's grabbing at your neck there right now. I thought these are all great tips, and I love learning from each other, because that's honestly the best thing that we can always do. And that's why I'm glad we're doing this as a group together. I thought a good way to finish up this is I'm going to go over just a recap of some of the things that we learned this morning as we start off this month. But I would love to break down a couple people's months if they wanted to be so brave on this. So I'll give you guys some time to kind of figure out if you would get your stuff in order. And we just kind of go over some generic ways on where it would be good for you to jump in this month based on what your goals are. And this is a safe place. So, okay, I'll get back to you. So Colleen, we'll come back to you. But the number one tips, I wrote them down. There's really great as we were starting off this call. Consistency, guys. Consistency is what pays off. Touch your business every day. To Harold's point, your rhythm and what you're doing and making sure that everything's moving forward in its succinct steps. Being in mission, that's always going to be the biggest. It's when we get into groups like this and we have a goal that's a rank goal, we can sometimes start to lose sight of what it is that we're doing. And you know what? It's good to know your goal. There's a reason why we have structural tension. It's in Dr. A's Habits of Health, because there's something that happens when you know where you are and you know where you want to go. You're way more likely to reach that goal. And actually, they did a study, and I believe it was 85% of people that wrote down their goals and told them to somebody else were more likely to reach their goal than the people that did not write down their goals. I actually think it might have been higher. I think it actually might have been 92%. But that's why it's so important, because when you know where you're at and you know where you want to go, you can accomplish them even more. That's why it's in the Habits of Health. But never losing that mission, that joy of what it's like when you get connected with the people you're talking to, even at a beginning level. The number one skill you could probably learn at this level is never forgetting what it's like to be a client getting started, to have that first win in weight loss, to have your first client getting started on program for your new coaches that are coming on. How cool it is when you earn your cab and how exciting that is. That's a great thing right there. So Jeff, you brought up just listening to people and just being there to basically help them. I'm paraphrasing, but just listening to what people are saying. That one's huge. Let's see here. I think pretty much personal growth was one on top of it, and all translated into a lot of people having their best month. So great takeaways as we start this month. And the whole resounding point of it is consistency on all of this, taking our next step towards where we want to go. So Colleen, you were brave. And I love that, by the way. That is a trait of someone that is helping other people, stepping outside comfort zone, stepping up. So let's go over your month a little bit here. We won't go over too much in depth, but where did you end up last month in some of your victories? And now when you're coming in this month, what are some of the goals you want? So what's your current reality? We're kind of looking at the success tracker here. Yeah. Where did you finish up at, and where do you want to go this month?
So my frontline volume, I finished up at 6608, and my group volume was 7,039. I have two coaches. Neither one are really active right now. I mean, one has one client, says she wants it, but isn't in a mission to do anything about it. Too much stuff going on in the background. And my other client had reached senior coach a couple months ago, and same kind of thing. Just we keep having conversations about it. She says she wants it, but isn't. She's just in an emotional place right now. Her husband had a setback health-wise, and so I understand all that, right? I'm just trying to be the empathetic listener and be available for her when she's ready. So good. I brought on 7 new clients last month.
Well done.
6 new clients the month before. So I'm really in the rhythm of that. My piece has been learning to offer the coach piece. And so I feel like my success this last month was at least I was having the conversation about it instead of not having the conversation, and getting more of my clients who are successful on board with a call with either, your mom or your dad. Mm-hmm. To at least start exploring the coaching option. I'm just not seeing that turn yet. So I am just trying to stay ambitious about not being disappointed about that and just realizing it will. As long as I continue, down the path. And so this group is really helping. So I think, that being said, I obviously know what I need to work on. I think it's just feeling comfortable in a conversation. Because of course I know what it will bring to me. I don't know if I'm offering it in the way that it's attractive to others, I guess.
Well, that'd be something to talk about with Terry a little bit more in depth, but a lot of this gets figured out when we kind of actually remain as far as the next step. So tell me a little bit about what just for this month, what are your goals for this month? What have you mapped out? What do you want to achieve this month?
Well, integrated ED, this is what I put for this last month. So I thought, all right, I didn't make that. So I'll go ahead and these were my goals for this last month. And 10,000 frontline volume. And I had put 6 new clients, and, I'm happy. So I had 7. So I thought, okay, this month I'll do 7. And I had put 4 new health coaches. So that's the growth that I would really like to see.
Awesome. I love that. And see, what's great is you just rattled it off perfect right there. So 4 new health coaches. And one more thing, caveat I'd like to put in there. How many senior coaches would you like to have this month? You want to bring on 4 new coaches? You have 2 coaches currently. How many senior coaches do you want to have?
Well, I'd love to have 6 senior coaches then.
Yeah. But how many do you, with what's possible and what's feasible? So you want to bring on 4 coaches. So 4 senior coaches, or maybe one of the people there.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
So,
well, it's like my friend Vicky. I know she could make that happen in a heartbeat if she's just willing to. We keep talking about the 3-way calls because this is a different system now when she first signed up. And I know October for her is a difficult month. She has a lot of emotional things that have happened in the past. So what's of course in my head is, wouldn't it be nice to help her have a different emotional month in October than being caught up in what's happened in the past with her? So that's the conversation that I'm hoping to have with her. I just don't know if she's going to be ready to move forward. So she would be one. And then, 3 new coaches be senior coaches.
All right. That's a good goal. And see, there's something there that I've learned is, if you just hope, like you actually got something attached to that because you were like, oh, I 3 of them. So now you're starting to figure out the action steps that you'll do with them there. So you have 2 coaches currently, one who's not really taking the steps. They have 1 client. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Okay. And do they want it? Is there a reason why they're not moving forward? We don't need to go into detail, but just, is there a reason why they're not moving forward? Do they want to, or is it just she
says she wants it. I think she's getting caught up in life, and she's somebody that works with me in the office, and we have a lot of things going on in our dental office right now, and that's unfortunately she's not in a good place about.
Okay. Well, then probably your highest leverage step here this month is 1, beautiful job laying out your goals. That's beautiful. That's like the biggest thing. As you're getting going with this and raising your frontline volume, I'd check out your success tracker a little bit to make sure, because if you were at almost 7,000 this last month and you want to bring on, is it 6 or 7 new clients?
Well, I put 7 because I have so many layers going on, a lot of touchbacks. So I really think it'll happen. And that's been the really beautiful thing about, as I'm learning and growing, not getting so caught up in the outcome immediately, but realizing it really is a layering process. And so that's where I'm trying to stay positive in my head about the coach piece as well.
Exactly. It'll come. If you keep up with it, it'll come. And you're layering them there. So exactly, you see it. You see what happens when you see the seeds that you're planting. So I would double check that your B Slims and how they're lined up right now, and adding 7 clients will take you to 10,000. That would probably be a quick thing that you would do. I really recommend doing that. And then with your 2 coaches, I would talk with Terry to find out if they're viable, because sometimes people just don't want to do it. And really the answer is we need to move on if we can't do anything to help them. If we can't aim with them, if we can't assist them, then we can't drag them. So I'd connect with Terry, maybe do a 3-way phone call with them really nice and early, lay out their next steps on this. And if not, she'll be able to say, these are people we want to work with. They can do it. They'll take these next steps. Or it's like, you know what, they're just not ready at this time right now for whatever reason. But generally, if they became a coach, they came a coach for a reason. I bet you we can get it figured out and take the steps. The next one is going to be your high leverage activities are going to be having people on the Real Stories of Health call on Saturday with Brian Drollinger, inviting people to 3-way phone calls with Dave and Terry, and just really getting them plugged in. So client story calls, or the people that are saying, I have people that want to get healthy, refer them to you and they want to explore coaching. So you explore coaching with Dave and Terry, or just flat out in creating referrals, because when you're creating referrals, that's their next step, is to pay it forward, because they're already changing people's worlds around them. So that's pretty much, the rest would be good for you to dive in with Terry, but this is a great example of where to figure out. Now your main action piece is going to be around creating those 7 clients, remaining consistent on creating clients, but the bulk of your energy is going to go into, connecting with those people to find out what they want. But also your main energy is going to go on, who are my favorite top 8 people that would be awesome at coaching, and what do I need to do to move them forward? Should I grab Dave and Terry's time and do as many client story calls as possible? Should I plug them into, the Stories of Health calls? All those things that you can do. What can I do to move people further along towards coaching? And we'll do one more of these, because I think this was probably helpful for everyone on the line. But I think, Craig, you had some good energy towards offering coaching to people that you wanted to give up today.
Yeah, thank you. The one of the things that I get often is I hear people that say things that coaches say, and they have a life about coaching. And I'll say, have you ever thought about becoming a health coach? And there's something about that terminology that makes them run. It's like, have you ever thought about becoming a brain surgeon? And they're like, well, I don't know. I'd have to know more about brain surgery before. And I'm like, isn't that what I just asked you? So there's something about it's like getting clients. Do you want to become a health coach? And so I've changed it like this, just using these simple words. I'd love to explore health coaching, whether it's for you now or sometime in the future. I don't know. But I just see a lot of things in you that really can tell you really care about people and you want to do this. And so what if we explored that a little bit and see what it looked like? And when they have, sometimes they'll go, and they'll go, well, I don't really have time for that. I'm not ready to do that right now. I said, well, think of it like this. Imagine if I told you I wanted to go see a movie with you. And you said, well, I don't know what the movie's about. And I said, well, watch the trailer. It's only 3 minutes. And then if you ever want to see it in the future, you'll know what you're getting. That's what the movie theaters do. And they go, oh, I go, yeah, we're just doing the trailer version right now. We're not watching the whole thing. And so somehow these analogies seem to come across that I'm not trying to get them. I'm not trying to make it happen right now, but let's explore what this looks like, because I think it really might be life-giving, or it might be something that really resonates with you. And then, and that's what's been, it's like this whole rigmarole that we have to go around, because people, if they say yes to the wrong thing, they'll end up owning a timeshare in, South America or something. They're just so skeptical and careful about what they say yes to. And so we have to really say, this is not that. So I hope that helped.
I love that, exploring coaching. And really, it's just an iteration of their program. And just a good reminder, because it's been a long time since the very beginning of boot camp. Coaching is just what we offer. They're going to become a coach eventually, because that's the next step in their program, helping the people in their world getting plugged in. So I love that, and I love exploring coaching. I've always thought about, because Susan LaBelle did a training on it, I loved it. It was basically comparing exploring coaching with people to dating. You go up to people and say, hey, you want to make out? they'd probably slap you in the face and run, even if you somewhat know them. And that's kind of what the client relationship is. But it's like, would you like to go on a walk? That's a really good place to start, or whatever it is, whatever is natural. So I love exploring. Coaching is more like asking them to go, grab coffee and, saying you should become a health coach unless you've gotten that close to that point. It's kind of like saying, let's go make out, and you might end up with a hand across your face. So yeah. I love that. And that was a great example. And Colleen, thanks for sharing that, because it makes it really, do you feel really good about now knowing where to go take your main steps this month?
Yes, I see. Thank you so much. And, back to that layering piece, I've reached out to some friends of mine who are doctors. And so I'm also seeing some of those things, at least the opportunities, continue to turn this month. So once again, it's back to the layering. It's back to your work. It's back to watering those seeds. I'm excited to see what October has to bring. And I love what you just said, Craig. Thank you so much. It's just a different verbiage. I think it's me finding that verbiage and having it feel natural, because I know it's an awesome thing. I just met with an old friend of mine who actually has been dealing with pancreatic cancer, and she's a doctor herself. And, we met just to catch up, but all of a sudden I was offering her, she was talking about needing nutrition. She's so thin, but she needs good nutrition in her life. And so I felt like oh my gosh, well, let me talk to you about, the products we have. And then she was talking about needing to find something more in her life, but she didn't know if she could, physically right now go back to like being a doctor. And I said, oh, let's talk about health coaching. And then, it went on to her, well, her husband needs to lose 15 pounds. And so I felt like I was just kind of throwing stuff out, but why not, right? Make the offer. And we just left that we're going to reconnect about all of those things. So anyway, thank you.
Colleen, as you're saying there, I had a lady just this last weekend. We did a big thing at a Tops club, and this lady was talking about the 3 or 4 different jobs that she had and how she's worn out and how her knees hurt. She's on program. And I said, well, have you thought about coaching? And she just buffed me it was like, you're trying to get me to do that thing. And I was like, hold on a second. I don't want you to be a health coach. Let's just get that clear. I said, this has sounded like something that might be good, that might be a good fit for you. Either way, I'm okay with it. And she just stood back and was just it just kind of put her in her place, because I'm not trying to get her. So if this is good for you, maybe it'll be good for you, but I'm good either way.
I love it. Great tips. And that's a great way to be thinking and getting our head on straight as we start off this month. Let's do one more person that wants to break down their month. Oh, Danielle. All right. Let's do you. Let's do you real quick.
Okay, so frontline volume last month was 10,700.
Nice. Well done, by the way.
Thank you. 4 senior coach teams.
Nice.
1 new senior coach, and let's see. Am I missing something?
What's your group volume?
Oh, my group volume. Usually it's about 56, but I don't have.
You know what? Just for good purposes and practice, that'll be a good thing to know on your month in the future. So, but that's great. So, what is your goals for this month that you want to accomplish?
So, my goals for this month are I'd like to have my new coach that came on get a senior coach, and I would like to add a couple more senior coaches at least. Okay, so what's the rank, the outcome you want to have for this month? Because those are kind of like little pieces that make up what it is you want. What do you ultimately want for this month? What do I ultimately want? I would like to be fully integrated national. All righty, that's what I'm talking about. All right, volume that you have desired for this month? Frontline volume? Yeah, all the stats. This is really good practice at this level. It's good to really know what those things are you want to create. Mind you, we're always in mission. But these things will help you detail out where you want to be working in your business and pouring that gasoline on, as Harold would say. Okay. So I'd like to add 5 more clients. So I guess that's another 1,200 in frontline volume. Good. And that's also a staple, by the way, mind you guys. It doesn't matter what it is. The goal, the template is 5 candidates into your business every month, whether you're working with a new coach or you're working with someone who's a global. That's so well done. Great. I think that's a great plan. Okay. And then And then the other thing that I need to do is, and so I'm a little unclear on this. I was national for 3 months, not integrated, but I was national for 3 months. And I lost that because one of my ED teams is floundering because she's really challenged with bringing on coaches. So I'm struggling with how much attention to give to.
All right. Well, if I could give a tip real quick here. Yeah. And, go back to your mentor for more personal guidance. If you focus on what is not going well, you're going to get more of what's not going well. If you focus on what is you want to create, you'll get what you want to create. So, that's number one stuff that I've learned. So those are all things that are not going well. But if we focus on what we want to achieve, those things start to work themselves out. Okay. You ever have a client that is talking about, having too many pizza parties in their world or their husband that's sabotaging them, or, just not liking the pancakes? Well, just because they're not dialed in on what it is they want. And what happens when they start figuring out what they want? All those other things start to become a moot point.
Okay.
So this month, with what you want to figure out, you want five new clients coming in.
Five new clients coming in, yes. I am my 3 ED teams, of course, and 1 to 2 senior coach teams.
1 to 2 new ones?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. What do you want your frontline volume to be?
Let's see. I would have to calculate that out, I guess, with all of that. And I'm not good at that piece. So,
and that's all right. Why don't you connect with your support team? Who's the person you work with primarily?
Usually Alex.
Okay, great. Alex will help you work on this stuff and help you get this dialed out, because it's not supposed to be meant to take a whole time. It's supposed to be like, all right, I got my success tracker dialed out. If these people are set to be on, and if they're ordering, if they're fully integrated, I should be right here. It's usually within $300 a swing either way. Usually, it makes it pretty simple to do. It's not like you need to spend hours doing it. I do mine generally in about 15 minutes as I start off the month. So this is great. You want fully integrated national. You want to bring in 5 candidates to your business because you're always filling your funnel. You're bringing more people in and you're leading by example. You want 3 EDs, and you want to have a fully integrated health coach business. So you want to have 5 senior coach plus legs. That's pretty much what I have right now. So leg number 1, ED plus. They're doing good. They're moving forward. They know their next steps.
Yes, they do.
Okay. Now it sounds like you're involved here, so feel free to chime in on any of this stuff that you might want to help out too. So they're on their next few steps. They know how to do 3-way calls. They're working. They're plugged in with you guys.
Yep. Perfect.
Love it. Leg number 2. They're doing well. They're moving forward. They know all this stuff. Love it.
Yep.
That's awesome. Leg number 3, you said, sounds like they might need some aiming. They haven't quite figured it out. They're a little bit there. Sometimes we have to figure out, I don't know, and I can't go into all the examples, but it sounds like it might be a good deal for you and Alex to call that person. And I'm strictly generic for training on this whole call, to find out what's going on there and how you can help them take that next step. If someone's not moving forward, it usually can get fixed. And they're sitting there. This is what Dave reminds us. They're probably thinking, I'm horrible at this. I'm not good. I can't do this. I'm failing. This will never happen for me. And really, it's like my analogy I've always used for it. It's like you're swimming in the ocean and you feel like you're drowning. And like these waves are like hitting you and you're like, I'm going to drown. And you don't realize you can just put your feet down on the ground and just stand up and just start swimming around and having a good time at the beach. So, maybe that's what's happening. Maybe not. Alex will be able to give you a little bit more guidance on what's going on with that person. You might have to move on. Maybe you'll help them sponsor someone that'll be of value. Maybe you'll help them get past that, but I'm not really sure about this. And Terry's on the call, so she'll be able to help us at that. But that'd be a good place for you to go. And then tell me about, you have a new senior coach leg that came on.
Well, I have a new coach. She's not a senior coach yet. She just joined on Monday. So, but she's taking actions a little bit slowly but consistently. So
you've done your meet and greet with you and Alex, and they're working. You got figured out her 10 people. She's pretty comfortable with getting the 3-way phone call set.
She is. We've had one.
Good.
That's going to be joining, and we have a second one scheduled for tomorrow. So yeah.
So a good goal would be for her to hit senior coach, maybe develop her first client, and then have a celebration at senior coach and move towards the next step. Maybe even manager if things go well this month. Absolutely. And then your 5th leg, you're working on being integrated. So do you have a 5th leg currently?
I should say no, because she pretty much has said that she's not ready to do anything else right now. So
she just wants to be loved on until she's ready, by the way. That's what it is. So probably not as of right now, because she's got some concepts. So that's not a problem. So then your main focus is right now, seems like, your main focus and what your strategic plan, your business needs is to work with that new senior coach with your support team, make sure everyone else is set, and really set some time doing 3-way phone calls, celebration calls, and exploring coaching calls, and inviting to all the trilogy calls that we have there on a multitude of a list of people. And here's the kicker, guys. If I could explain one thing for you guys this last little bit, never go for a goal with the bare minimum. Never plan on trying to just scrape across the line. If you're going to go big, go big or go home. So I would actually mark out 2 senior coaches this month. It would be your goal to bring on besides that person you're moving to it. So 3 new ones, and figure out who they are. And that would be the main focus of your attention this month. That's what your business needs. And you and your support team will be able to help do that. This is strictly generic, so don't take this to just by itself. Make sure you connect with Alex and get this all dialed out. But that is a beautiful goal for this month. You have a great business. You have a great idea of where you want to go. And now you have a great plan of where you're going to spend your time. And kind of like we were talking about there, like, blah, 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 we're focusing on this, the dog, throwing up and American Idol being on. That stuff starts to float away when you're just like, what do I want to achieve? Now the steps are simple. So that's where we're going to spend our time this month, and we're just going to move forward, and we're going to be in mission. So connect with Alex a little bit further on that. And I think is that helpful for you guys to kind of see where to kind of organize your action like that right now? We do 2 things. We bring in clients and we integrate them, and we bring in coaches and we integrate them, and we move them forward on the simple steps. And if you set the pace as a leader, if you know what the steps are, then they just fall into that pace even quicker. I kind of describe it like a path. The path is set. You can walk on it slow. You can walk on it fast. You can walk on the side. You can feel free to walk on the brush a little bit, but it's not going to last that long. We just want to make sure the path is set and we're showing the most optimal way to do it. So, Terry, I'm so glad you could join us. Can you hear me okay? Are you able to talk?
No, I can hear you great. That was awesome. I've only been on for part of Daniela's success tracker, but that was dead on. Do you guys? Oh, go ahead, Brett.
I was going to say, we just started off. We had some phenomenal. Everyone here had great months. Personal records, people getting it, people in mission, personal growth. Let's see here. Just some of the top takeaways is consistency, being in mission, having best months, transferring of skill sets was huge for time saving, personal growth, and mapping out. And to Harold's best tip is pouring gasoline on the fire when you got something good going. So always doing that next step. So we're kind of going at, we're doing this now. We're learning skill sets. What's the best way to jump in? Where do we spend the first few days of our month? And so we broke down Colleen's first, and then we did Daniela. And so now it'd be great. We're kind of fishing up the call here. This would be a great way to kind of wrap up. And this is the number one thing I probably could encourage people to hit on. Anything else that you'd like to add, or that I missed, or anything you think would be good to share with this group here that's on fire?
You know what? I don't think I probably have anything more, because you know what? Right now, we've been so clear and concise with everybody that went through boot camp, and then now, moving through with FIBC. And I first of all want to apologize between rocking out a phenomenal month with everyone yesterday, and then changing travel plans for funeral. I didn't even know what date today was, so please accept my apologies. But I just want to say that, the way we're doing business right now is simple. It is so simple. It's very clear. Like, we can look at someone's success tracker and go, okay, these are the next step. It's really clear if we postured on the front end, well, how to move a new coach forward, and how to just love on people if they're not ready, and how to go find the ones that are ready. It is, would you guys, I can't see all of you at once while I'm on an iPhone, so I have to kind of scroll through. But would you guys all agree with that how simple it is right now? I mean, and don't misinterpret simple with easy. It's simple and clear and concise and duplicatable. And the key is, the secret is in the transferring of the skills. But I do want to say one thing, if it wasn't already shared, I suspect it already was. But you guys all know me. I'm a big data collector, and I watch everything. And the number one thing I have seen that is the best way to move your new coaches forward is to make sure that they have seen that they've been part of a three-way, one of the three-way communication styles somewhere before they become a coach. So if it was, if they were maybe part of a new coach's candidate's call at the beginning, where they needed, the three-party call, then that's fabulous. If they were part of a client celebration, client story call, that's fabulous. Or if they were part of a coach candidate call as they were starting to make their decision about becoming a coach. And then there's also the meet and greet. But by the time, if you've done a three-way call with them, with someone in your mentorship team, by the time they become a coach and it's time for them to start their three-way calls, they don't think anything of it. Boom, this is what we do. This is what we do. This is what they do. They've been part of it. They're comfortable with it, and they just move through it. So you have 4 opportunities to get them on a three-way somehow prior to them becoming a coach. And Brad and all the other globals on the line, wouldn't you guys agree that that's making all the difference of a new coach getting started and out of the gate and getting those calls going right away?
Oh, yes.
So it is. Anybody else want to add to that?
Can I just ask a question?
Sure.
Just to clarify, so I'm getting a little bit fuzzy with, I love the success tracker, and I think it gives me so much more information when I'm helping my coaches and my team and myself. So where is the line or the marriage of the structural tension? Do you still have everybody work on both each month, or can you give me a little insight onto that?
Brad, can I take this one, even though the success tracker is your baby?
No, go for it.
Well, and the only reason I really wanted to is because we just, so a great big high five to everybody with all the data, because the success tracker is just going to be set into the unified training system now.
Yes.
Okay, so I just went through this whole process with the Alacrity team. So the structural tension, it's all right there. So let me describe a structural tension chart. And then I'm going to, then as soon as I say it, you're going to go, oh yeah, that's there. So a structural tension chart is you decide what you want to do. Then you look at your current reality. And then you define your action steps needed. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is that true, Daniela?
Yes, it is true. But I guess I see the success tracker is doing that also. So I'll listen to what else you're saying here.
That's exactly right. So you don't need to do a structural tension, because the success tracker is a structural tension. So you decide you decided what you want your October to look like. You look at your current reality. You line up your B slims that are scheduled to batch. You list your to be senior coaches and above. And then you list your top 10 client candidates that you're in the process of layering, and your top 10 coach candidates. And those are your action steps. So you don't need to do a structural tension. That is your structural tension.
Okay, I'm so excited to hear that, because that's how I was feeling, but I was still getting this, I guess, internal pull of, but we've always done the structural tension. So thank you for clarifying that.
Brad, do you, is that exactly how you work with your team?
Yeah, I mean, we're always clear in what we want, but structural tension is just, is built into the success tracker. That's why it's set up that way.
Yeah, so we want to be clear when we're talking about a stay, strategic plan, your tactical actions, and you and yours. It's the same thing. What is your short-term strategic plan, a big-term strategic plan? It changes, but the success track, I'm so stoked. There is an updated one on the ED boot camp, just a few little tweaks, so it made logistical sense without having to explain some things. A little bit more in terminology is on there. So grab that one from the ED boot camp page before you write out your one today. So you have the new one. It'll look very similar. You'll be surprised that you'll have to look for the few changes. Okay, Brad?
I think this was a great call, guys. I want to thank you guys all for shared all the great stuff that's going on. I want to congratulate you guys on an awesome month, because consistency is the key while we're being in mission. That's why you guys are seeing the successes. So, just the people that shared, Bobby, Jeff, Israel, like best months ever. I love it. Oh, and Alex too, of course, while being more concise. I love that. So for those that are building this skill set right now, the mission for the month right now, have you connected with your support team to kind of go over these things real quick on what it is you're doing? Like if you haven't set up a time, that's the number one thing. Make sure you grab them, or at least have gone over where you're focusing your time this month. make sure your new people are celebrated. If you've had new senior coaches or people that did ranks last month, make sure that they are celebrated. And then figure out your teams that you're working with this month, and and how they fit in your guys' 5, because that's what we're moving towards right now. And let's figure out, are they clear on their next steps? And then if there's any gaps on those 5 or 6 people we want to be working with, how are we doing to fill those in? What are we doing? Is that where we need, like, Danielle, one of your main focuses is going to be on, moving your new coach forward and moving, new people into your business, and some of you guys might be there. Some of you guys have the people and you're moving them forward right now. Just figure out where it is and what needs attention and who you need to connect with. Ideally, everyone you're working with that has goals, if they're not clear on the next steps, we want to connect with them and celebrate the month within the first few days of the month. So ideally, today's Thursday. A good time to do it would be before the end of Friday or Saturday morning. So that's pretty much the number one steps I could give anyone here that's on this group that's going to jump in with their people this month. Celebrate the things they're doing, making sure you're clear on your 5 or 6 legs you're moving forward right now, as well as where you want to be at the end of the month. So Terry, anything you want to add to that?
No, that was absolutely perfect. I just had a clarification question. You might have already covered it when you were training. When you say celebrate with your people, your teams who had ranked, do you mean verbally in a phone call? Celebrate with them on Facebook, in the groups, or what was your suggestion?
Why, I could go on a bunch of things here and make it, but why you want to just clarify that real quick?
Yeah.
Just way forward. I could say it, but you could just probably just say exactly what you.
Yeah. Well, one, you always want to, speak in person, make sure voice to voice, but and be sure and congratulate on the appropriate pages, but go to their Facebook wall with a picture with a lot of great words, not using Take Shape for Life wordy stuff. Like, for example, let's say if they hit manager, let's just say, for example, oh my gosh, I am so excited to be partnered up with Bill Ritchie. He has such a heart to serve, and he is assisting 10 people move their life and health forward. I just love being partnered with you, and I just want to give you a great big congratulations that you care about people and you are committed to assisting them with health. That tells and hyperlink them. That tells their whole, and then make sure you've got a before and after picture or something that is a visual. That tells their whole world that they're getting it done and they're available to help people. You've just done a mass marketing for them. And if you want any of us to do it for you, ask your support mentorship team. They will do the same kind of post for you. We're not hiding behind our secret pages anymore. We're living life full out, and be bold. So that was it, Brad.
I love it. I mean, that's really it. Connecting with them in person to make sure, and that's a great reason to connect, to make sure if you have a rank up and you haven't celebrated yet, connect with them so that you can lay out the next step. So anyways, I like this, guys. What we'll do is we'll take this to the Facebook group and lay out some personal goals, because that's the biggest thing that we do at this level. And we'll just kind of lay out our action steps so we can do it together. Did you guys like that exercise last month, seeing how people laid out their steps? Do a lot of good learning from each other. So let's continue October and just make it a great month. That's pretty much all I have to say. I mean, everything's going perfect right now. Like, I'm just excited for it.
It is, and I do want to remind everybody there'll be no training next week because we'll all be at Sundance, all the leaders. So we'll be doing a lot of it on on the Facebook page. Brad, and I suspect we'll probably do a some kind of video from Sundance for you guys. So let's, you know what? And the number one thing is, take a deep breath, pat yourself on the back, and take a bow or a curtsy, because we rocked it this month.
We did.
I think we ended up with 39 new executive directors that never hit before. And you know what's even more cool? Over half of them were by blended. People are getting, and one third of them came in as clients and coaches at the same time. One third of our new coaches, 300 new coaches, and a third of them came in as clients and coaches in the same month. That is what we're doing. This system is simple. It's just, it's getting used to it, getting it going, and it's beyond powerful. And you want to make sure that you take a breath, pat yourself on the back, but hit it hard, like you were saying, Brad. We're all in momentum. We're, you know, our wheels are turning. Let's keep them going, and let's assist a lot of people to freedom.
Yep. I love
Okay.
it.
Congratulations, guys. Thank you, Brad, for jumping in there for us.
Hey, happy to do it. Well, I didn't have to do much. Everyone just shared their great stuff of what's going on, so we're just learning together. So we got some good sights set on this month, and I have a feeling we'll have to probably make the last call this month pretty celebratory because of all the clarity that people have. So let's go to work, guys. We got people to connect with. Let's do it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Brad.
All right, guys.
Thank you very much.
Great. Hey, thank you, Daniela and Colleen, for your example today. That was great. I'm going to take the same example to the Facebook group too, so we'll be looking for that as well.
Right on. Congrats, everyone.